the lecture session on the course Fluid Mechanics and Machinery Laboratory. So I am Satish H, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. In this lecture session, we will try to learn the experiment or conduct the experiment on the friction through the pipes, or it is also called as a major losses. The aim of the experiment is to find the coefficient of friction for the given pipe. Okay. So and then the operators that we need for this experiment, to conduct this experiment, are loss through the pipe experimental setup, and we need a stopwatch. And coming to the why we need to conduct this experiment, or what is the importance of this experiment is. So basically, what do you mean by the friction loss through the pipes? So whenever this fluid flows through the pipe, okay, so there are mainly two types of friction losses, or the energy losses that can happen. So one is the major losses and one more is the minor losses. And major losses are due to the friction. We know that a fluid which is having a viscosity, and then when the fluid flows in terms of the layers, and then there is a friction between the layers of the fluid, and as well when the fluid comes in contact with the inner walls of the pipe that in which it is flowing, then also there is a friction. Okay, so the energy loss or the pressure loss due to this friction between the layers of the fluid, or between the fluid, or between the fluid and then the pipe inside walls of the pipe, we call that as a major losses. And we have something called as a minor losses. Minor losses are because of the pipe fittings. For example, if you have a sudden contraction in the pipe, okay, certain diameter pipe will be reduced to the a smaller diameter pipe. For example, a 15 centimeter diameter reduces to a 10 centimeter diameter. Okay, then there is a sudden contraction of the pipe. Okay, similarly, when there is a sudden expansion of the pipe, a bigger diameter pipe will be suddenly decreases to a smaller diameter. For example, from 15 centimeter to the 10 centimeter. Okay, then that is called as a sudden contraction in the pipe. And also there is in a pipe fittings there is a bend in the pipe that also causes a loss that we will categorize that into the minor loss. And there might be some obstruction in the pipe that is also results in a loss. Okay, that is a minor loss. Okay, so basically we are concentrating here on the major losses. Okay, when the fluid is flowing through the pipe. Okay, so and for this you have learned a course in 4th semester, that is fluid mechanics. There also you will learn the theory about this, like what do you mean by the major losses, why does the major losses happen, and what do you mean by the minor losses, what are the reasons for the minor losses, okay, and what are the various equations that are used to solve these major losses. Okay, so basically we use the Chezy's equation and Darcy-Weisbach equation to solve this major losses inside the pipe. And in the general, some of the applications where we can need to consider into the design of an hydraulic systems or piping systems, the friction factor is, okay, if you have a hydroelectric power plant, okay, so we have something called as a penstock. Penstock is a pipe-like structure that carries the water from the reservoir to the input of the prime mover, for example turbine. So while designing these penstocks, okay, so one should consider the energy losses due to this friction, okay, because of the flowing of the water through this one. And you can also, this comes into the picture when you are designing a sewage lines, and for example if you have a irrigation pipelines where the water from the source is pumped to the different fields in the irrigation. Okay, so those will result in in those cases we need to consider the friction factor. Okay, so that is the losses of energy due to the friction, so into the design considerations. And then the simple sketch of the major losses, okay, is shown here. And this is a pipe which is having a length which is equal to L, and then across which a manometer is connected. Okay, mercury manometer that is used to measure the pressure drop across the 2 points. Okay, so these 2 points should have a sufficient length. Okay, otherwise it cannot accurately measure this pressure. So this is the length of the pipe through which the water is flowing due to the friction. At this point, if you take these 2 points, okay, so through the length of the friction, there is a loss of energy due to the friction because of the viscosity of the fluid, as well as the fluid which is coming in contact with the inner walls of this the pipe. So let us conduct this experiment. Okay, this is an experimental setup for major and minor losses. So in this experimental setup, we have different diameter pipes are mounted. Okay, basically these are to measure the friction through the pipes. These are related to the major losses, and then the other two pipes are related to the other experiments. Okay, that is related to the minor losses. So we have three pipes which are mounted. The diameter of this pipe is 1 inch, and the second one is 3/4 of an inch, and then the second one is, third one is the half an inch. Okay, so basically we are in this experiment we are concentrated on this the 0.5 inch. Okay, we are interested in measuring the friction loss through this half an inch pipe here. Okay, so and then at the beginning of this the pipes, okay, so you can see this. Okay, for all the pipes, individual pipes, we have this valve. Okay, so what does this valve does is it will control this flow rate through this pipe. Okay, so and then you have to make sure that, okay, when you are conducting the experiment on this particular pipe that we are interested in now, that is 0.5 inch, this valve should be open, and then make sure that other valves should be in a closed position. Okay, so because we want water to flow only through this pipe here. Okay, so that is why we need to open this valve and then close the other two valves. Okay, so in this experimental setup we have this a U-tube manometer, that is mercury manometer. So this is used to measure the pressure, okay, between the 2 points in the pipes. Okay, so we have this 1 point over here, this is the 1 point, and then this is the one more point over here. So and then this is the effective length of the pipe where the pressure difference is measured between the 2 points. Okay, if you measure the length of the pipe, that is the effective length of the pipe. Okay, so what is the pressure difference that can be noted from this mercury manometer, that is U-tube manometer here. Okay, and then we have the centrifugal pump. So that will that is normally powered by the electric motor. So and then that will circulate the water through all these pipes here. Okay, so and then we have one more thing in order to measure the flow rate. Our actual flow rate. This is called as a collecting tank. So in other experiments, you might have learned that we had this rotometer that is used to calculate the flow rate. The other way we can also calculate the flow rate, okay, by calculating certain volume of the water and then like dividing that by the time. So then we can calculate the flow rate, that is the actual flow rate. Okay, so here we have this scale here. Okay, so and then a valve is fitted at the bottom of this the collecting tank. Okay, so what we are going to do is, okay, with the help of this pipe, okay, so we are with the help of the stopwatch here, and then we start the stopwatch, simultaneously we close this valve at the bottom, and then we are concentrating on this scale here. Okay, so we have to look for about 15 centimeters of the water is collected, okay, for what amount of time. When this reading shows 15 centimeter, you then switch off this stopwatch and note down that reading. Okay, that is the time required to collect about or rise about 15 centimeter of water in the collecting tank. Okay, so let us conduct this experiment. So you have to conduct this experiment. Okay, so here we have this the switch. You have to switch on the pump, and then before that, make sure all the other valves are closed. Okay, so all the other valves are closed, and then this valve. So only this pipe we are interested in, that is 0.5 inches for pipe, diameter pipe. So this valve is open, all the other pipes are closed here. Okay. Now I am going to start this pump, centrifugal pump. Okay. Now the water started to flow. Okay. So then after this with the help of this valve, I am going to adjust this volume flow rate, okay, the flow rate through this pipe, and then when you increase the flow rate through this pipe, this pressure drop will be recorded. Okay, so before that you have a two knobs here. Okay, the pressure tappings. Okay, so you have to simultaneously open those tappings. Okay, those will be in the horizontal position. When we make it to the vertical position, then those walls will be open. So next, what we have is, we have a mercury manometer here. Okay, so in the left limb you can measure the pressure. You have to note down the readings in the left limb and then the right limb. Okay, so now we are getting it as, in the left limb it is 3.3 millimeters. Okay, in the centimeters, I'm sorry. So in the left right limb we have this as a minus 2.7 centimeters. Okay, so please make sure, okay, this is a zero line. Okay, above the zero line, in the left limb, it's a rise of this mercury level is there. Okay, then that is taken as a positive. Okay, so if it is below the zero line, then that we will take it as a negative. Okay, so after noting down these two readings, okay, so we have to come to the collecting tank here. Okay, so now we have two sections here. So in this one, at the bottom we have a wall here. Okay, so I am going to close this wall by rotating this. Now the valve is closed. Okay, so I have a stopwatch. Okay, so I am going to allow this water into the tank, and then I am simultaneously started the stopwatch here. I am looking here. Okay, so now the water level in this scale is rising. Okay, so when it reaches 15 centimeter, I am going to stop this one. Okay, so now it is like 15 centimeter. I am going to stop this stopwatch. I got the reading. It has 23.38 seconds. Okay, that means to say, now to collect the water up to about 15 centimeters, I need a time of 23.38 seconds. Those two values I have noted down. Okay, so similarly, you have to this is the first trial, and then for the second trial, so with the help of this valve here, you have to increase the flow rate through the pipe, and then this mercury level, so you have to note down again the readings, and then similarly you have to repeat the same for noting down the time for 15 centimeter rise of the water in the collecting tank. Okay, so then we will go for the calculations. Conducting an experiment. Okay, so we have noted down all these observations and as well as the tabular columns, and then the important observations that we have is the diameter of the pipe, that is we are going to conduct the experiment, that is equal to half an inch, that is 0.5 inch, which is equal to 12.7 millimeters, and then if you convert that into the meters, it will become 0.0127 meters. Okay, millimeters into the meters, we have to multiply that with the 10 to the power of minus 3. And then effective length of the pipe, that is small l, is equal to 1300 millimeters. So everything we will keeping it in a meter. So if you consider that, you convert that, multiplying by 10 to the power of minus 3, you will get it as 1.3 meters. And then area of the collecting tank. Okay, so we have some like as you see in the experiment, while conducting the experiment. Okay, the cross-sectional area of the collecting tank that is used to measure this flow rate is equal to the 0.0454 meters square. And we have rise of water level in the collecting tank, that is x is equal to 15 centimeter. That if we convert that into the meters, that will become 0.15 meters. Okay, so while measuring this flow rate, you have to note down this, the rise of the fluid, okay, inside that collecting tank. And area of flow in the pipe, since we know the diameter of the pipe, that can be calculated by pi d square by 4. Okay, so these are some of the observations you have to note down. So and then we have this tabular column. Okay, here we have two trials. We have noted down the readings, the trial number 1 and then trial number 2. So here we have a manometer reading, that is H1 is equal to 3.3 and H2 is equal to minus 2.7. As I said before, 3.3 is positive because we are considering the scale above the zero line or the datum line as positive, and then this is negative because it is below the datum line or the zero line or the reference line. So if you take this 3.3 minus of minus 2.7, you have to add these two values, 3.3 plus 2.7, you will get it as a 6. That is in centimeters of mercury. So and then HL, which is equal to in meters. Okay, this is in centimeters. So this is multiplied by 10 to the power of minus 2. This is 6 into 10 to the power of minus 2 here. Okay. So then we have to convert the HL in meter of water. Okay. So that is in centimeters of mercury. We have to convert that into the meters of water. That we have the formula here. Okay. HL is equal to small HL into SF divided by SW minus of 1. What is HL? This is the the head, okay, for the mercury, okay, that is in meters, and then Sm is the specific gravity of the mercury, and then Sw is the specific gravity of the water minus of 1. Okay, we know that specific gravity of mercury is 13.6 divided by specific gravity of water is 1. 13.6 divided by 1 minus of 1, that becomes 12.6. If you are to multiply with this number here, 6 into 10 to the power of minus 2, you will get this 0.756 that has been rendered over here. This is 0.756. Okay. So, and then we have also noted down one more reading, that is a time taken for x centimeter rise. Okay, that is t in seconds, that is equal to 23.38 for the first trial. And then Q actual, that is meter cube per second, that is a flow rate. Okay, so that is calculated using the actual discharge is calculated using this formula. Q actual is equal to A times x divided by t, where A is the cross-sectional area of the collecting tank, and then x is the rise of water in the collecting tank, and divided by time, that is how much time it has taken to rise so much of like a height. So here we have this area of the collecting tank. We know that, okay, it is standard, okay, this is 0.054 meter square. We substituted that value here, and then we have the x, okay, that is rising the water level, okay. So that is equal to 0.15, okay. We waited for 15 centimeter to rise inside the collecting tank, okay, that is the value here. Divided by how much time it takes to rise 15 centimeter, that is 23.38, okay. We substituted that value. If you simplify this, you will get the actual discharge as 3.46 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per second. Okay, this is 3.46 into 10 to the power of minus 4 meter cube per second. Okay, so then we need to calculate the velocity of the flow through the pipe. Okay, so in order to calculate the velocity of the flow through the pipe, we have this formula. V is normally in meters per second, which is equal to actual discharge, which is normally in meter cube per second, divided by area. Okay, so that is the pipe area. We know the diameter of the pipe. So here diameter we know this, and then we calculated this by pi d square by 4. This we have to substitute here. So then you will get it as 3.464 into 10 to the power of minus 4, which is the actual discharge, divided by the area of the flow, that is the area of the pipe. Okay, cross sectional area of the pipe, 1.266 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Okay, so if you simplify this, you will get the velocity in terms of meter per second as 2.729. Okay, so this is after calculating this velocity, we need to calculate the coefficient of the friction. Okay, so coefficient of friction, okay, is given by, this is a Darcy-Weisbach equation. Okay, so is given by F is equal to 2 into HL into G into D divided by 4 into LD square. Okay, so this is 2 times HL. Okay, HL we will take it from here in meters of water, that is 0.756. We know that the G, which is a constant, that is 9.81, and then D, that is the diameter of the pipe, that is 0.0127 divided by 4 into length of the pipe. Okay, here we have the length of the pipe, that is 1.3 multiplied by, so what is that, velocity square. So we have calculated the velocity 2.7298 whole square. So if you simplify that, you will get this value as 4.86 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay. So, and also we have to calculate the Chezy's constant. Okay. So Chezy's constant is given by C is equal to V divided by square root of under the root M into I. Okay. Where V is the velocity, that we know that, okay, from here, that is 2.729 and then divided by square root of Mi. M is, okay, is given by D by 4, that is diameter divided by 4, you will give the value of M, that you will get it as 3.175 into 10 to the power of minus 3, and then multiplied by the I, that is HL by L. Okay, so HL is how much? 0.756 divided by length of the pipe, that is small l, that is 1.3, you will get it as 0.581. Okay, if you simplify this one, you will get the Chezy's constant as 63.53. Okay, so that we have to substitute into this tabular problem. Okay, this is for the like a one trial. In a similar way, we have taken the second trial. Here we get this pressure differential as 10.5, and then we get this time taken to collect 15 centimeter of water as 16.64. In the similar fashion, you have to use all the formulas and then calculate this coefficient of friction as well as the Chezy's constant. Okay. That is the about the tableau column observations and then the calculations. And then let us see what are the probable, okay, so the Viva questions related to this experiment.